been doing this for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? I've been out since I was 15, and I sat there last night, and I'm going to say this because I am Kai's friend. I sat there and was really disappointed with him last night. Really disappointed. There's another actually, for all the trans people that got in that box, because we've all had it. We've all sat there and we have said the transphobia card when it has been transphobia. Yeah. But why is... And it does really fucking hurt me, because do you know what? I got ripped to shreds on this app by trans people, and nobody said boo to a fucking goose. So when I seen it happen to Alpha, after I fucking did it myself, I ain't going to sit here and say that I haven't. I got humbled. So I really, as horrible as it sounds, I fucking hope it happens to them too, because do you know what? It might change their fucking brains and make them wake up and realise, actually, in-community hate is the biggest thing. Do you know the amount of transphobia I get? It's from my own bloody community, not even from people like you.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to give I like to give both sides of the coins, right? So what I will say is I did hear, and again, you know, if anyone wants to share this to Miss Faye or whoever else, I heard Miss Faye saying, and I heard Mama Kaz say it as well, that at some point, Elphaba themselves have said, I don't want to transition. Now, I've never heard that. But I also, just to see the other side of the coin, for the trans people that are calling out, so like the Miss Natashas and the Evil Queens who are calling out Evil Queen, if they have, calling out Elphaba, I'm sorry, who have heard, allegedly Elphaba saying that I don't want to be a woman, I don't want to transition. If that is true, that is something that Elphaba has said before, I can also understand why certain members of the trans community feel frustrated by that. So I'm not saying she has said that, I'm saying that's what I've heard. But I'm just saying, if that is true, I can understand why certain trans people will not refer to her and say, because she's not on a transition, because she said it herself. So I just wanted to give the other side. No?
I believe she has said on a live that she wanted top surgery, but is scared to actually go through with the transition. She wants hormones, but is scared of starting taking them. So I don't know whether... because she's come out and said she's scared of how it may affect her, that what they're now going by and going, oh, well, that means she's not transitioning at all.
Yeah, no, they
possibly
being scared to start anything. I mean, it's like a child going to school for the very first day. They're going to be scared. Yeah. You don't know how those hormones are going to affect you, or
they're irreversible medication as well. You can't reverse the changes once you start them. So, do you know what I mean? Like, for me, if I was to detransition, I'd still have all the hair. I'd have to go through electrolysis. I'd still have, like, the bottom growth. Do you know what I mean? Like, hormones are irreversible.
I just wanted to put it out there that that's what I heard Miss Faye saying, or Mama Kaz, sorry. I can't remember who. I think it's both of them. But, again, it's just alleged what I've heard them saying, they have heard Elphaba saying. I'm just getting messages just to let you know that there is a live happening over on Delusive Angie's, and she is continuing the trans conversation over there. Apparently Evil Queen is over there, and apparently she has been racist again to Torian unprovoked. So you know, so shit is still continuing on, guys, today. Someone's saying that Elphaba did say it, and they also said it to CLA. But I just, look, in this room, I like to always give both sides of the coin. That I don't want it to be like Remi's just sitting here dragging trans people who are dragging Elphaba, because I have heard from some other trans people that Elphaba has said themselves that they never really wanted to fully transition. So, you know, like, I just wanted to put both sides out there so that it's fair. I don't know the truth.
Means, like, complete lower surgery.
Yeah.
Like, if she said she doesn't fully transition, that's valid. But I feel like you shouldn't be told that you're not trans just because you don't want lower surgery.
I agree.
There's trans people that come out and don't go onto hormones. There's trans people, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I just think at the end of the day, if she's happy the way that she is, let her fucking live her life. Just stop trying to scam people for money and saying trans healthcare.
Stop.
I have no issue.
Stop being a scammer.
No issue. Use your bag on what you want.
Correct. Stop being a scammer. We don't give a fuck.
I'll be. That's all I care about.
One at a time, please. One at a time. Right.
I think first of all, mic drop moment to Dimitri, because he has absolutely slayed the facts today. So thank you, Dimitri. and also I want to give props to Pocket Rocket, because Pocket Rocket has listened and has changed, and this is what this live is all about. Because when you can educate and when people can listen and get a different perspective, that's why this type of live is really important, because nobody's slagging anybody else here.
No,
we're just giving facts, and we're just doing what we can to educate people, or that when they don't know, because there is so much information going around, and the main misinformation is this whole thing that if you're trans you can't. If you're not trans, you can't have an opinion on who's trans and who's not. And with that, what I do want to say, even if Elphaba didn't want to fully transition ever, and even if she has said, well, I don't want to be trans, if she want trans, it'd probably be easier for her. So I know with what I've been through, I don't want to be what I've been through. But I am, and that's just how it is. And so when you are something and you don't want to be, just because you don't want to be doesn't mean you're any less trans than you are.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And also, when it comes to people have donated and given her money to be trans, if she wants to buy a handbag, so she does feel more like a woman with that beautiful handbag, why not? If she wants to buy clothes that make her
I didn't think of it like that, to be fair.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't realise, and that's why I love that you're up here, Pocket Rocket, because you're just learning and lapping it all up, which is fantastic.
I've learned so much today, and I'm like, my whole opinion on it, because obviously I follow somebody called Toby J, who is a trans man, and he's always gone on about the fact that you're not trans unless you transition, because the clue is in the name transition. And so on that perspective, I was kind of like, if you haven't even like sort of started like talking to people or like things like that, then you can't be trans. And I think because of the way that like some of the people that I've seen on the app, I haven't come across people like Dimitri who are shouting facts. and
this is it, isn't it? Because the word transition doesn't mean operation. Transition is transitioning from male to female or female to male, and that doesn't mean any operations have to take place for that transition to happen.
Exactly, it can look different for every person, and you could grow to the fully big age of 95 and never ever have taken that full surgery, but you still identified your whole entire life as a trans person.
There's a lot of older trans people as well who come out, like maybe in like their 30s or 40s, and they don't.
How dare you call us older people 30s and 40s? How dare you?
I'm not saying older. Hear me out. Hear me out, Roy. In terms of like trans world, most people come out like a lot younger, but we do.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
people who are like a little bit older than like the average 30
or 40, for fuck's sake.
Okay, leave me alone.
Let's block Dimitri Muds! Block him! Right, listen.
And also, I will follow on from what Dimitri's just said, because when older people come out, because they've always felt a certain way, but have followed the societal constructive paths that there are. What happens then is that they then go through the wearing the clothes, doing the hair, doing the makeup, or whatever. And for them, it is a big scary thing, because they might have spent 40 or 50 years of their life being one gender and having to be one way. And so actually thinking about going any further than that is a big thing. Going any further than having top surgery is a big thing.
Yeah, my friend's
when it does come to
transitioned at like 66, 67, and just like it was a huge shock for the whole family. But at that point in life, you know, you may, like you say, you might not want to go and have those surgeries, or maybe you're not even allowed to because you might have other conditions that, as Dimitri explained, that means you can never have it anyway. You know, like you couldn't go.
Like there's some people that don't want to transition when they're a little bit older later on in life because going on to hormones, like they might not be in the financial position. Because of the gender waiting times. Do you know what I mean? Like regardless of what point you transition, you need to remember that also transition is quite financially expensive. There's like, I think now, what is it, like 9 to 10 grand for a hysterectomy if you want a histo in the NHS, unless you've got fertility problems or you've got problems with your, you know, your what's called female reproductive system, then you don't always get them. And it's really hard, it's a hard battle. Do you know what I mean? I think this is what a lot of people don't realise, regardless of where you are in your transition period, whether or not you've had lower surgery, you haven't, if you're on hormones or you're not. I think people need a wake-up call to realise that it's not that easy. The waiting lists are ridiculous. GICs are being closed down left, right and centre. And the fucking reason I know this is because I work very closely with mine. Like, the fact is now, they weren't offering therapy before or after surgery. I had a mental breakdown after my hysterectomy. Guess what my GIC are now doing? Offering therapy group sessions for those before and after they go for surgery, which needed to fucking happen. Because guess why they didn't do that? They didn't have the money, they didn't have the funding. But now, because they're introducing people like peer support workers, like myself, like Zach, there's other people that are introduced now into into our GICs that we go and help other people out that maybe are waiting to go on hormones and they're a little bit nervous about it, or they've just had top surgery and they've got the post-op blues. Because I've been through that, I know what it's like, and I didn't have fuck all help. Nobody was there from the trans community when I was crying my fucking eyes out, wanting to TikTok shop myself. Do you know what I mean? Nobody was there when I needed them the most. And ultimately, I've always said that's the reason why I do the content the way that I do. And that's the reason why you will not catch me ripping another trans person up.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that. Listen, can we go to Deja? Oh, there's a lot of crackling noise. Oh, what's happening? I want to go to Deja, who's been sat here patiently. Is that Deja?
Yes, it is. Hi, Miss Remi. How are you?
Hello, darling. How are you? Sorry to keep you so long.
Good afternoon, everyone. No, that's fine. If I could just go back, last night what had happened, Miss Natasha, who is known as DeVille, basically had contacted and reached out to quite a few of us trans people that she knows. And it didn't go the way that she had planned. I mean, it was meant to be 5 trans women and 4 trans men. Nobody straight was allowed to come in whatsoever.
That didn't happen.
No, it didn't. I think EQ just obviously took over and had her own agenda. I can agree on that. Now, obviously, I know EQ from the stuff that she has done, which I find quite harmful for the trans community. And when I was told about that she's doing this, I thought to myself, right, well, if she's a big creator on here and the message was to educate people about our experiences and how tough it is and how hard it can be and how these words could have a real effect, it just became into a whole, as soon as alphabet is mentioned, everyone just goes onto this huge, debate about alphabet. There's hundreds and thousands of trans people on this app which are not like that. They could be represented a lot more, and it just never happened. Alphabet wasn't even there, and everything was about alphabet. And I feel really sorry for Miss Natasha, to be honest, because obviously it's marketing. She's in a bigger creator's live. She needed to reach out and get the audience talking about this subject, but obviously she had to respect the host as well. So I feel as if my main profile on here has my flags of my background, but I'm quite racially ambiguous. So I feel as if that I was only risen into a box because I didn't look like a person of colour. Maybe the moment I had mentioned, because for the last 10-15 minutes I was waiting, the conversation had been about the comparison of being trans and racism. And so when I came into the box, the first thing I did mention was about, someone had mentioned, I think it was Portia, and then EQ had mentioned about reporting it to the police and whatnot. So I wanted to clarify that as somebody who is a trans woman of colour, there's been experiences that I've reported something to the police and nothing has ever been done about it. It's not even been noted. Only when one of my white boyfriend had gone in, or somebody white that I knew had gone in, I found out that it wasn't even noted down that I made a complaint. And then they only took notice of them when they were complaining that they had experienced it and they were stood with me. So, I mean, it's one of them things, obviously, across different counties, they have different sort of thing. And police officers can be quite prejudiced in themselves. Not everyone is professional.
100%.
The moment that I had said all of this, and I'm somebody who believes that we all started off at one point. You can't turn around and say one other person isn't trans like another. Now, someone like Portia, who started transitioning at 14, can't really then be saying, like, I've seen her in many other lives before, where she comes for people saying they're not trans because they're not on the hormones. There's multiple of reasons why people aren't on hormones, whether it be mental health, whether it be physical, whether it be where they are mentally in their lives, whether they want to. I think it's actually looking after yourself to make sure you're doing it correct and taking your time instead of rushing into something. Now, I feel as if with Elphaba, I mean, she's obviously from a certain background, and I feel as if anyone had 10 grand given to them, what was the first thing you'd want to do if you never had money? Go and spend it, enjoy yourself. Now, I totally disagree with obviously having more than 250,000 that you've made and you've still not done anything. But then again, I do think to myself, well, maybe she is up in arms, so she doesn't know what to do, what direction to go.
Is that really how much she's made? Sorry to interrupt you. Is it that?
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard from
fucking Nora.
People.
But listen, it doesn't matter all the money in the world though, because if you're not ready or you're not capable or like, it is a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but it's also like we've got to remember that in many respects, Elphaba is a child. Yeah. Very childlike behaviour that we see often. And I've said it before, and I know Dimitri said it about, they might not be ready for another 10 or 20 years. Like,
personally, I think it's something called adverse childhood experiences, which is ACEs from a young age. If you think about how much trauma she's seen, she's not had her dad around. Her mum's an alcoholic and a raging, snowflake user.
Let's be careful, allegedly.
But, like, alleged...
I don't like calling people
we've all seen the white powder on the noses on the videos. We're not but like at the end of the day, I can see it because my own mother's the exact same. Do you know what I mean? And I can see when she's in that position and possible, people need to realise she's been through a lot at a young age. She hasn't had the right guidance. She hasn't got a look around that a lot of trans people don't have. And she's been thrown into the limelight because her wig got snatched off in the middle of Barnstable and she got all this following. She doesn't know what the fuck. At her age, I wouldn't have known what to have done with like 500,000 followers.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I let alone know what to do at 25 and 75.
Emma makes a good point. People can be mad about the money, but again, we're talking about their behaviour, aren't we, and not their identity. Yes, Del, you can come up. Let's go back to Deja to carry on. Sorry for interrupting, darling.
No, sorry, I just got to get going soon.
Sorry, babe.
No, it's okay, darling. So basically, I just feel as if the whole trans girls who are very privileged in the sense that they are passing right now. I'm very lucky that I pass when I walk down the street. But obviously, there's traumas in my life. There's multiple different reasons why I haven't had the therapy to do voice training, for example.
Yeah.
And I feel as if when people turn around and call you out on something, if somebody says you're a BITC, you're going to turn around and be a BITC in rebellion. And I feel like sometimes it's like when people come at you and say, why haven't you changed everything about yourself, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you want to hold on to that. And for me, it's like just a quick thing. It's like I was diagnosed with bipolar at 21. I'm now 34. I came out as trans in that moment, but no one. I was on the gender clinic waiting list for more than 10 years. No one ever said to me that you have to clear up. We're not going to give it you because of all the medications you were on. The doctors are telling you to take the medications. On the other hand, you're waiting for the gender clinic, but no one's telling you why. So I mean, and for me, gender and gender and mental health come hand in hand. It's kind of like a circle sort of thing. And I feel as if like there's multiple reasons why people do what they do and the journey that they are on. We can't just look at it so black and white. And the last thing I want to say is about trans women, like basically saying you're not trans enough. And that's the conversation we need to have.
Yeah.
Because invalidating somebody else who is actually, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know how complex it can be. And I feel as if everyone just needs to be a lot more kinder. I understand about Elphaba, having all that money, should have done something about it. But I just want to say one thing is that she probably didn't even know that she was going to get this money coming up. Yeah. Maybe she thinks she's going to always have that money.
Yeah.
Maybe she thought maybe she thought she'll always have that money. Maybe she's not making that money now. It wasn't as if she got it all in one chunk. So yeah, if we're just being fair about things, I think everyone does need to leave Elphaba to it. Don't give her money anymore. She needs to learn for herself about this. Yes, make awareness about her, raising money and not using it where it needs to. Everyone just needs to stop their pockets of giving gifts to this person. And I think everyone just needs to focus on trans women and the trans women that are speaking about these things. We need to all make a change on not judging somebody else for how far they've come in the transition. That's where we'll see the change.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me up, Miss Remi.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming up and sharing and speaking so beautifully. And sorry for keeping you waiting for so long.
No problem, darling. Everyone have a great day. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Big loves, Deja. Big loves. Take care.
Can I just add on to what Deja said about, obviously, it is a witch hunt when it comes to Elphaba. The minute she's mentioned, everybody opens up.
Yeah.
And she hasn't got support. She hasn't. Her mum doesn't support her. You can see that on lives. It's very clear. And I'm just wondering, is Elphaba sort of like a cop out, if that makes sense? So if anything's said, it's Elphaba this, Elphaba that. Because of her behaviours, the people kind of just sort of like use her to deflect on what they're doing, if that makes sense.
I feel like sometimes it's the case with some of the bigger creators, in terms of the ones that do speak about Elphaba, that haven't been the exact perfect people online either. But I do feel like with some people who talk about Elphaba, they know that the minute Elphaba's name's mentioned on a video, I can confirm it. I had a video go to 500,000 bloody views because I spoke about how the fact is she threw the transphobia card around.
That's what I
feel
mean.
like TikTok uses that word, and people are speaking about her because they know they can bang views. And now it's a minute over. Imagine how many people are doing minute-long videos and making bank off her name. That's all I'm going to say. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean, Dimitri. She seems to be the topic to get using, to get the money in, because of the way that she behaves and things. And I generally wonder if there is more going on underlying with her. I mean, the obsession with Wicked, some of her behaviours with like Pokemon, like
this is why I think she might be on this. I'm not a psychologist, but I think she might be on the autism spectrum.
I've said this.
I thought that for a long time.
Yeah,
I thought that for a very long time, because the way that she has her outbursts, they are very, very similar to my children when they have meltdowns, and they are boys. Whereas I'm female and I have severe autism. My meltdowns are very, very different, and it is a lot harder for autistic girls than it is autistic boys, because we identify differently. And I generally do wonder, is she undiagnosed autistic? And is she self-medicating with the things she is putting in her system? Because I went through a stage of self-medicating with snowing, because it calmed my brain. It made me feel like I was a normal person in society, because I wasn't being autistic, and it made me numb.
It's really common with, obviously, people misusing certain substances within the trans community, those who are also autistic as well, or undiagnosed. There's actually, I think it's like 60% of the LGBT community are autistic or ADHD or both. So there's a massive correlation. But also people don't realise as well, majority of trans people are actually autistic. I think it's like 1 in every 3 trans people that I know, most of them are either ADHD or autistic. And I say, fucking hell, I said, we've already come out as trans. And I always say this about myself, I'm neurospicy as well as transgender. Do I want anything else? Because it's really, really difficult. Trying to manage autism and trying to manage gender dysphoria, it's bloody horrible. And then ADHD as well, when your brain wants to stop, but then you feel like shit because you're gender dysphoria, but your brain wants to go 100 miles an hour, and then your autism's kicking off. It's like a triangle, and everything boots off.
Yeah.
But I generally think that I've generally seen autistic traits within her. I think she's got a lot of things that she does need sorting out, but ultimately, until somebody can give her some bloody help and the system isn't fucking failing her, then she's just going to be another statistic, another number, NHS number 7570, and she's not going to get that help. But ultimately, what can you do?
Yeah.
Because she's not helping herself. The police aren't going to 136 her like they've had plenty of opportunities to. Mental health services are overrun. So what the fuck do we do with her? And what the fuck does she do with herself? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's literally kind of in the lion's den. She's just left there until either the lion gets her or she manages to get out the cage.
But it's like there's so many trans people at the moment that I see struggling, not even just people like Alpha Bar, like people that I've seen that have been absolutely fucking trolled to live in shit online. Like, I don't know if Amelia's still in here, but I've become really close friends with her, and at the end of the day, Amelia gets a lot of shit online, but she does a lot of makeup content. And when I say to you, she does her makeup better than some bloody women out there, I'm sat there going, why the fuck are you getting so much shit? Because I feel like there's such a precedent for trans women to look like the fucking Barbie dolls and like the typical dolls. And I'm sorry, but women come in all shapes and fucking sizes, biological or fucking not. Same with men. Yep. Like, so why are we now judging somebody and saying that, oh, you have to look a type of fucking way? Because I'm sorry, at the end of the day, I don't want to be a duck that quacks like a duck and walks like a fucking duck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Life is fucking boring. We need a little bit of something juju different, but maybe not the Delulu shit. But like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Right, can I hear from some other voices up in the box? Because I do need to wrap soon. Listen, thank you so much, Dimitri. Miss Obsessed, thank you, Dimitri. Big loves. What did you want to add to this conversation? Zoe, are you there?
Can you hear me?
You can now, yeah.
One thing I wanted to say was, one thing I keep hearing a lot from people within the trans community and people outside the trans community when it comes to using transphobia towards Alpha Bar is they use her behaviour as an excuse.
Yep.
And the reason for that is because people who are outside the trans community are stereotyping her behaviours. So what people outside the community have got to do is stop with the stereotyping. And that's not just the trans community that affects. They do it with religion, they do it with people who are disabled, they do it with people of colour. And we've got to stop trying to put everybody in these brackets and then using bad behaviour as an excuse to attack those protected characteristics.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. Thank you, Zoe. We got All Right Sunshine up here, and we got Stell. All Right Sunshine, did you want to share some thoughts on this conversation around the trans community and trans rights and stuff? Hello, are you there? Stell, hello, Stell. I'm going to invite you to unmute. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Remi.
Hello,
hi,
darling.
everybody. I've got two things I want to say. The first one's on alphabet. It's quite easy. I've actually thought for quite a long time that alphabet is autistic due to her behaviour, purely from observation. And I think she plays up to the camera. But that doesn't give the others the excuse to put her down the way they do. And that brings me to my second point. Evil Queen is actually a very intelligent person. Mm-hmm. And if you follow her journey on TikTok, you will see that she targeted several big creators, got in with them, She got in with them, right? And she started getting a big following herself, and then she turned on every single one of them and stabbed them in the back. Every single one of them she's done it to, And that's her way of getting rid of them and keeping her little group. And I think her behaviour is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Okay.
Her views are ridiculous. She's just way out there. And me, for one, I think she should have went to prison for what she did. Because
to who or to what? What do you mean?
When she was convicted of benefit fraud, she walked into that court. The video is online. In fact, I think it's actually on one of the videos.
I've seen it. Listen, babe, I just want to rein you in because I feel like we're going to go down Evil Queen hate campaign, and I don't want that. I really want to keep it.
It's not hate.
I know. I would just really respectfully like to just rein it in to keep it about the trans debates that happen. I hear what you're saying, but I just don't want to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 points of why Evil Queen is a dickhead. I think we know why Evil Queen is a dickhead. I just want to keep it on track in terms of the trans debate that's happening and thoughts and feelings on the live that happened yesterday on Evil Queens, or even Miss Faye's. And if you could share some opinions on that, that would be great.
That's what I was trying to do. So, and I was explaining why I say these things. I think that it's people at Evil Queen that give the trans community a bad reputation. That's who they're focusing on. And they're laughing with her, laughing at taking the mickey out of people at Alphaba. And then she's turning around and trying to put to the general public that Alphaba is actually, you know, that is a representation of the trans community. When in actual fact, it's not. Neither of them are. But she's thrown Alphaba. I'm not a big fan of Alphaba, by the way, but she's thrown Alphaba to the wolves on several occasions.
Oh, 100%. And I've sat here and called it out 100%. But then I've also been told, because I'm not trans, I have no right to tell a trans person that they can't be transphobic. So do you see the position why it's difficult? That you want to be an ally and you want to call out the fuckery that you can see is happening, and then you get told on a big ass platform to shut your mouth because you're not trans, so you can't tell trans people nothing. This is why I'm kind of mad.
Well, that's wrong. Of course you can call out, because it doesn't matter whether they're trans or whether they're black or whatever.
Correct.
If you see somebody doing something that's not right, then you've got the right to call that out. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are or what you want, what community you think you belong to.
I agree. I just find it frustrating. But no, I hear you, and I agree with pretty much everything you've said, Stel. I've seen a lot of what Evil Queen does is strategy on this app. There is a lot of strategy and maneuvering, and I agree that Elphaba has become her focus. Pretty much every live show she does, there is an attack on Elphaba, and my point from the start of this is that I think that looks incredibly bad when you have on the one hand you want to say you're a trans rights activist and you're here to make a change, whilst continuously, repetitively every night being transphobic, and the message that puts out is awful to not just your trans community, but to everyone watching. And if we want to...
The majority of the audience on TikTok, will just sit there and listen to Evil Queen because it's funny.
Yes, and that's the problem. That's the problem.
And it's them we need to change. You know, it's them we need to bring down to explain to them that what Evil Queen does is wrong. You know, and I've got no qualms about pointing out to her. She's blocked me quite a few times, and then she'll unblock me and then invite me into the live until I say something that she don't like, and then she blocks me again.
It sounds like Evil Queen.
You know, I mean, she's mental.
Thank you, Pocket Rocket, for coming up. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening and taking stuff on board today. Thank you, darling. Yeah, she does that. She will block people, and then she will do a mass, unblock everyone again and let them back in and then reblock them again. It's a game for her. Look, TikTok is a game for her, and she doesn't take it seriously. She comes on here to make money, and she makes money by creating drama and being in the drama and being talked about. And so to be talked about, we do controversial things. We say we are the Rosa Parks of the trans community, when that is going to deliberately provoke and antagonize the black community that you have disrespected repeatedly for months. But you do it because it gets people talking, and if people are talking about you and your name is in their mouth, it brings in traffic. It's a game, right? I see the game. It's chess. I play chess very well. I see Evil Queen's moves before she's even done it, and this whole fucking I'm standing for trans rights shit, I'm telling you now, and you can mark my motherfucking words, at 2 p.m. on the 13th of January, Remi told you that within the next 6 months, you will hear Evil Queen sit on her platform and tell you she just did this for shits and giggles, and that she doesn't give a fuck about no trans community, and the only person she cares about is herself. She's done this for marketing, for PR, for content. She gives no fucks about about the trans community. The only person she cares about is herself. So you mark my words, I'm going to give it 6 months and you will see her telling you, she just did this for content. She doesn't give a fuck.
I think she's already said that.
No, well, she did say the other night, it was about 2 nights ago, I wrote it down. She did say, she said something like, she said, I've got nothing else to focus on. This is serving me well. And then she said, I just need something to get my teeth into. I mean, does that sound like the words of someone who's passionate about trans rights and and like wants to make a change, wants to protect the future generations? No, it doesn't. It sounds like someone's spinning some yarn and spinning some content because it gets her attention, which gets her views, which gets her gifts, which gets her paid. And that is ultimately all Evil Queen cares about. Now, she go on.
I'm white, by the way. And I've always looked up to Rosa Parks and what she did. And I know the controversies around it as well. So that's not the point, though, you know. It's what she was trying to do. And when I heard that comment, I was in the kitchen making a cup of tea and the phone was, I was listening to it. When I heard the comment about the Rosa Parks, I was like, you what? I flew in there. I tell you.
It's the audacity of it. But again, she's doing it deliberately to be provocative. She knows it's going to upset the black community. She knows that. Like sitting in a box the other day. I know I'm
upset me and I'm white.
This is right. Okay. So like she does it deliberately. Like she sits and thinks about it and like, how can I be controversial? How can I upset people? How can I get the attention? And she does this provocative, annoying shit. And she also knows I will call her out on it. Like, I'm not scared of Evil Queen. I'm not someone who's going to sit here and bite my tongue like a lot of people on this app. I will call her out on it every time because I can see what she's doing and she knows that I know what she's doing. It's a game, and I think it's a very unpleasant game. I've always said I respect the game, I respect the hustle. She knows how to make money. I will always respect that as a business coach. But the strategy in which she uses, which is harmful and hurtful to others, I don't respect.
That's it. That's exactly it.
But anyway, thank you, Stel, for coming up. I appreciate you coming up and having this conversation. Seaside, mate. Mate. Yeah, she does know that. She knows I can read her. This is why she gets pissed at me, Dan. She knows. And she said it herself. She's like, Remi gets me. I do get her. Listen, I see her moves. I know what she's doing and I know why she's doing it. And she's never going to fool me on this app. You know, she's fooled a lot of people that she's all about trans rights. She ain't about trans rights. She's about content.
Remi,
go on.
This is why she unblocks me, because she knows she can rile me up easy, you know. And she'll unblock me and then fight me into the chat. And see you, right? See when I come across you, right? I will show you what trans rights is all about. she just riles me up something terrible, and I can't help myself.
No. She knows what she's doing. And you know what she did yesterday really fucking annoyed me because, like, she does have a big platform, and if she was more serious and wasn't just about money, she could have used her platform for actual good yesterday. But it was a piss take. Her gifts were on. She was playing music. She was kicking people out the box. She was being disrespectful, and she was just having a fucking laugh when it was actually, it is calculated. It could have been a really important moment for bigger conversations, but she took the piss because she doesn't care. That's the crux of it. She doesn't actually
sent
care.
Somebody to my live yesterday. She actually sent somebody to my live to tell me that she will be doing a live with Audrey will be in it and Martha's going to be there, you know. And I was like, and what do you want me to do with it? 3 of my biggest nemesis, you know, be idiots. And they knew that obviously what they had done is they saw that I had an altercation online with Audrey and Martha, ran to her. She says, I'm going to do a live and I'm going to bring them 2 in, get Stell to come and go tell Stella they're coming to my live. And I knew what she was playing at, so I didn't bother going. But the audacity, it is the audacity of it. So
She's
I'm
trying
not
to
going
bait you.
Yeah, she was baiting me. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to sit with Red and a few of the other ones last night. I was like, I can't be bothered with it, you know. I was dying to go in, but I just thought, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I know what it's all about.
Yep. And that's it. You got to read. You got to read. You got to learn to read a bitch. And she knows I can read her, and she knows I will also call her out on her shit. So I'm fully expecting to get dragged tonight on her show, which will be great because it will just send more people my way. So I'm waiting for that. But listen, it's
Remi, can I just use your platform for a minute? Yeah, Red. Red, I'm going to go live in a few minutes, yeah? Come to my room. I need to talk to you about what happened last night.
Yes, just go to Stell's room. But listen,
Red
thank
is
you.
the person I was talking about. I went there last night to sit and just keep my mouth shut and, you know, and Red got...
Red got bananaed.
Yeah, for no reason, for nothing. Absolutely. She was on mute the first time she got bananaed.
Oh, bless you. But listen, I do think these conversations are important, and again, I'll say I think it is an important message, just perhaps the wrong messenger, you know, if I can use my platform to continue these conversations, I'm more than happy to do that. But I think healthy conversations about what's going on is important. I just, you know, just be careful about who you let in the box, and try not to steer off of topic too much or about personal things, and keep it on agenda, because transphobia on this app is rife, and we do need to talk about it, as we do with racism and everything else. We do need to have these sensible conversations, and today is going to be filled with fuckery, because right now we've got Delulu, who's live hosting a live about transphobia. She don't give two fucks about it either, so that's also going to be a shit show. So just protect your energy, all of you, and protect your spaces of where you go and sit, and don't let people pull you out of character, man, because
Martha got the knock yesterday because we were in, you know, Envy. We were in Envy's live, and it got, this is how nasty it got. Basically, Audrey was losing the battle, and she called in reinforcements, and I